Hey guys, so just going to do a quick little walkthrough of Oulton Park here with the Veloster. Still in the same setup from Fuji. Feels pretty good. I really wouldn't change anything from it. Maybe a little bit more toe out in the front and rear just to get the rotation. But I don't think it needs too much because a lot of these turns are just so fast. I don't know. I could probably mess around with a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. I forgot I did turn my brake bias up to 39, so I need to save that for this one. But I turned my brake bias up to 39, and then there's my tire pressures. So getting right into it, turn one. This I think is the second hardest turn on the track. So going into it, you're in fifth gear. I use these banners on the left side of the track for my reference point for me. It's going to be different for everybody's field of view where you're sitting in the car, so you're just going to have to figure that out for yourself, but I recommend using those banners for your braking point. So overlap a little bit gas brake, that doesn't make a big difference, but you want to get as much slowing down as you can going into the corner before you start turning the wheel for the turn. So I get up to about 75% here and then start petering off as I start rotating into the corner. And then pretty smoothly come out of the corner. So we'll go through that one more time. We'll go about quarter speed, so heavy on the brake. I start rotating with the wheel a little bit more. Then I get back on the brake pedal. I'm kind of dodgy with it, and then the important thing is be at least half throttle by the time you get to the apex to maximize your exit speed. So then you're out there, and then this white line, this is about as far as you can get without getting it off track. That white line's your off track marker. And this one just teases you to keep going out further and further. So we'll just watch that real speed with some sound. Up to fourth, up to fifth, and then it's important here to get your car on the right side of the track while maintaining your forward trajectory to be this way. And tighter here I found is better. If you're wider, there's not as much grip. So there's this little bump, and then I use that green as my marker, and like I said before, everybody's field of view is going to be a little different. So I use that marker on the right side. And then again, heavy on the brake pedal, about 50-60%, and then start petering off. But this one, you just hold it for a long time at that 10 to 15, and that really gets the car rotated nicely. So we'll watch that in half speed or whatever. And full throttle as soon as you can here. This particular lap, I leave a little bit out on the exit of the corner, so I could go further, but that's an easy off track. And the biggest thing that I can recommend is just keep in mind that the brake pedal can be used to turn just as much as the steering wheel. So going into this little kink, my marker is this little gravel road when I start feeding the wheel. So I feed the wheel just a little bit, and then a hair of brake just to start that rotation, and then back on the gas. I just stay in fifth. You can go to fourth, but I don't see much use in it. And then going to the heaviest braking zone on the track, I use these tires on the left as my braking point. Pretty heavy. I get really lucky here, and I dip it in the grass, but able to keep it going in a straight line, which is good. So this one, you want to get all your slowing down before you get to this point. Like from here on out, you don't slow down a ton more. I mean, you do just because of turning and rotation. And it's also really important to stay tight, and then it's on throttle as soon as you can get. All the way out to the exit. So we'll watch that without talking. And the thing that you'll notice is the lack of, you don't want to hear too much tire squeal. If the tires are making loud sounds and you're using them too hard. This long straightaway, now into the fastest turn on the track. My marker is just about this 100 line, maybe where that asphalt color changes, and down to 4th, and it's heavy braking at 75, 80%, and start the rotation when you get to the 50 marker. And here it's really important to jump this inside curb and square off the exit. It just really cuts the turn and allows you to carry a lot more momentum. And I could have carried a little bit more there, but it's not really worth it. So down to 4th, then up to 5th. This, I think, is the most important turn on the track as far as braking point wise. Reason being is there's no really good brake marker to look for. And so this particular lap, I go a little bit too deep and I miss it just a little bit, but I still get a good time. So if I was to fix it, I would brake here instead of there. So just that little bit was 2/10. 2/10 lost from there to there. So here, a little bit of overlap on the brake pedal, gas pedal, that's not the end of the world. Heavy braking again in a straight line. And then get to this apex. And right now, the issue that I have is I'm here, and my car is still pointed away from the next apex. So in a perfect world, my car would be pointed this way. Instead, I'm pointed this way. And so I have to rotate a lot more, and I just totally blow by that. So then you get all the way out to those rumble strips. So in a perfect world, I'd probably be going, I don't know, 15K slower going into that, brake sooner. Maybe hold that brake pedal a little longer, but there it's a lot better to underdrive it than it is to overdrive it. So going into the last turn, just after this brake marker is kind of where I go down, and this is the heavy, well, I guess take it back. This is the heaviest braking zone on the track, but you know what I mean. So brake hard, 80, 90%, and then there's a little downhill right here. So you let all the way off the brake pedal, then kind of back on it, and then you want to square off your exit as much as possible. So it's not necessarily the optimal, like, theoretical line, but for these front-wheel drive cars and that slight elevation change, it's really important to get your exit square so you can get back to power sooner. And so that's pretty much the lap. And I'll go find. Oh, and this is a good lap for the long carousel. Oh. Here we go. Never mind, that's a terrible lap for the long carousel. Maybe this one doesn't suck. Yeah, this is good. And that was 2/10 quicker than my other lap. So just that little bit slower. See how I'm down to 140, 145? And I wait on the throttle until the car's ready to go. So yeah, the telemetry will be up and the setup will be there. So that's the lap.